Starting with the F tier, we have Kez. If you pick this hero, you probably have some mental issues. Actually, that was half a joke. I think if you're really good at this hero, it can be like maybe low C tier, but I just do not want to see my pub teammates or honestly any of you guys picking this. I would never recommend this hero. It's kind of like Invoker, where it takes a lot of effort for a very mediocre level of power. Except Invoker is cool and Kez is lame. I also think one reason why the power is even mediocre is just because nobody really knows like what Kez's identity is, like what it does or how to counter it. Which if you're wondering, if you're ever against Kez, just stun his raptor dance and do magic damage to him and he will be very useless. Before we get into the rest of the tier list,
real quick, if you missed my big announcement video, I am partnering with Game Leap. Yes, that noob speed. And they're supporting all my Dota content, and they're allowing me to make more Dota content than ever, better Dota content than ever, and I'm playing Raid Shadow Legends now. And if you want to support me and keep seeing my Dota content, play Raid with me. So join the Krabby Raid clan. Click the link in the description and get 2 legendary champions and 3 epic champions, and this is like $200 worth of stuff, or like 6 to 12 months of free-to-play grinding.
All right, next up in the D tier, we have a bunch of heroes who are usually either Giga Broken S tier busted or completely useless. And right now, all of them are completely useless, like DK, Mag, Wind, Bristleback, Tiny, Lina. They're very useless just because their numbers aren't good. They don't scale well, the lanes aren't strong enough, etc. Going into the C tier, we have Naga Siren. She can be okay if you play a lot of her, but she's really, really hard and there are better illusion heroes to pick right now just because of her numbers. And we have Razor. He's just really squishy, doesn't scale as well as he used to. We have Dawnbreaker carry. Again, these are like super niche specialist picks. And just so you guys know, I mean, I think any hero can be good and you can play what you want. And like, for example, you can play Razor and Naga Siren carry and have a 70% win rate in your bracket. It's just if you learn to master heroes like in higher tiers, I think your win rate would be a little bit higher. But again, at the end of the day, what matters in Dota is that you're playing what you want. I just wanted to put that caveat there. Then we have Monkey King. Now, a big theme of mine in heroes that are going to be lower on the tier list. And also, by the way, this tier list is mainly for pubs. I would say like mid to high level pubs, and I'll give a few heroes some special shout outs for like low level pubs. Kind of pro as well, but pro, guys, is just going to be fundamentally different than pubs because the idea of a flex pick is just so powerful in pro, where if you don't know what that is, it's that you can pick a hero like Shadow Fiend, for example, early in the draft, and it can either be mid or carry, and the other team doesn't know, so they can't really draft against it for lanes. So that kind of like skews the pro meta a lot. So this is just like straightforward power of the hero for, pubs of a general skill level. So Monkey King, again, it's a lot of effort for very like mediocre power. Yeah, he doesn't scale as well as a lot of other carries, and you need to be really, really scrappy on him. Same with Slark. Honestly, he's in the same boat. If you're a Slark specialist, you can definitely make him work. And if you pick him in the right Slark game, you can definitely carry. But if it's not a good Slark game, this hero just looks pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And then in a good Slark game, and if you're good at the hero, then you might be able to carry, right? That's the vibe. Muerta is just way too slow movement speed wise on the map. So your map positioning and macro has to be pretty perfect to make this hero work. If you can hit, she does a lot of damage, but in her lane is decent. And she scales really well, but she's really kiteable and slow. Marcy, so this is going to be a hot take. I know Marcy's getting a lot of buzz right now, but this is kind of like a Kez situation where I just don't want my teammates picking this, and I wouldn't recommend you to pick it because it's really, really hard. And Marcy in particular like doesn't scale very well, and I'm always going to recommend heroes and pubs that scale really well. And there's a lot of nuance to like playing this correctly. There's the new Helm Dom build that's getting a lot of attention right now. Okay, moving on to the B tier. I have a lot of heroes in the B tier. We have Spectre, pretty solid. The lane is just a little bit weak and it doesn't scale that well, like as much as it used to. But this is just good in pubs because it's global and you'll be able to punish people alone on the map. And I really like the Orchid Manta build, and you just go on supports in the team fights and you kill them and they'll feed. And honestly, the lower MMR you go, the better Spectre is. So if you're a lower MMR, I would rate this a little bit higher. And Spectre is really fun as well. The ult's on such a low cooldown, so when you get Orchid, you can just kill a support for free basically every time it's up. Then we have Phantom Assassin. This hero is kind of a shell of her former self, but the lane is still pretty strong, but she doesn't scale as well as she used to with damage. But again, it's not terrible. I'd say it's mediocre. Then we have Ricky. I think Ricky, it's not getting picked right now at all. I think Ricky does a lot of damage. Honestly, I might want to rate him like a little bit higher here. Maybe like middle of B tier, not low, but he's a specialist hero. And if the lane goes south, you can have a really tough time recovering, but he does a lot of damage. And honestly, the lower MMR you go, again, Riki stock just gets higher the lower MMR you go. So Void is still one of the best late game heroes in the game, if not the best, with double chrono with refresher, but it's just really hard getting there. And the lane is like extremely mediocre, if not a little bit on the weaker side. Then we have Queen of Pain. Queen was really broken last patch. She got nerfed. I think it's still okay, but nothing to, write home about. Then we have Alchemist, pretty solid tempo hero if you like to play fast. Just doesn't scale amazingly. I mean, it can be kind of hard in pubs to like play fast with your team sometimes. That's why for pubs, I always prefer heroes that scale, especially in lower MMR pubs. Then we have Shadow Fiend. He was really, really good last patch, but they nerfed the armor that gets taken off with his passive, and he's just not as good as he was before, but I think it's still okay. Lane's still really strong. Troll Warlord is good situationally if you pick him as a last pick against a carry that he counters. So against an Ursa or like a Lifestealer or something like that. Troll, basically, his bit is that he out man-fights the man-fighting heroes in the game, right? Like Monkey King. Troll's really good against Monkey King. Now we have TA. TA's been around for a while now in the meta, and she gets nerfed and nerfed and nerfed, and even in the D patch, they nerfed her again, which is crazy, and I still think she's viable, but again, nothing to write home about. PL is good in good PL games if they can't clear the illusions, but I was hoping he'd be higher, honestly, but I've played a lot of him, and it doesn't feel amazing. Then we have Chaos Knight. I don't see a lot of Chaos Knight, but I think it's really good for catching people off guard. People always underestimate how much damage this hero does, and if you go Armlet Orchid, you could just like one-shot supports in team fights. And he scales pretty well too, and he's a really strong laner. Morphling is good in good Morphling games where you have, good morphs. I have a whole video about Morphling if you want to watch, what makes a good Morphling game, but if it's not a good Morphling game, I would say this hero is a lot of effort for, again, pretty mediocre results. Now we have Weaver. And at this point, we're getting into like the top half of the tier list. Like, I think there's a big separation between Morphling and Weaver in power. Like, all these heroes that I'm about to say are like spammable heroes going forward. Maybe I should make like a B+ tier. You know what? I'll do that actually. I'll make a B+ tier. Stand by. Okay, the B+ tier has been created, and the first hero on it is Weaver. I think this is a really good pup hero because he takes coordination to take down. You have to use all your spells on him at the same time, and he just like picks apart disorganized team fights, and the lane is really strong. I think Sven is very solid right now, very reliable. You can get your farm every game, and you can do the thing where you burst people with physical damage pretty reliably every game. Lane is also solid. Then we have Terrorblade. Now, Terrorblade would be a little bit higher for me, maybe even in the A tier, but he's really hard. And in pubs, I find that having a spell like Meta is just kind of hard in disorganized environments, and you have to put a lot of effort into maximizing his power. But if you're a TB specialist, not a bad time to be ripping some TB. Then we have Anti-Mage. Still one of the best split pushers in the game. You can make enemy teams really, really uncomfortable and then take fights at a numbers advantage. Really good hero to learn if you want to master split pushing. And I'd pick Anti-Mage in games where they don't have a lot of catch for you. That's the main thing. And obviously against like, Storm Spirit, Invoker, heroes with a ton of mana, int heroes, Leshrac. Now at the top of B+, we have Jug. And actually seeing that, I'm going to move him down like just a little bit. Honestly, I would rather my teammates pick Weaver over Jug. The thing about Jug that gets me is the win rate on Dota 2 Pro Tracker in the 7 to 8.5 KMR bracket is really high. So I'm actually just going to keep it here in the name of the data, because at the end of the day, I'm a statistics man. And the lower MMR you go, the better Jug is, because just the way that Omni Slash is, it's super counterable, like with both your movement and also like items, but at lower MMRs, people won't do that. And noobs will just feed in lane to Jug spin a lot. I think that's why he has such a high win rate. All right, now we're getting into the A tier. Some juicy picks for you guys here. Juicy picks, free MMR. I'm just kidding. No MMR is free, but these are like pretty strong. First off, we have Gyrocopter. This hero's lane is extremely strong, really big teamfight presence, good tempo presence in the game early with his magic damage, and he scales really well. It's very, very solid if you're a Gyro enjoyer. Then we have Leshrac. So Leshrac's kind of my boy this patch. I play him pos 1, pos 2, and pos 3. I think he's Giga busted broken. Now this one is going to be a Krabby special for the carry role. I think it's legit an A tier carry though. I think he's really good. The weakness is you don't hit buildings. I think he's just that strong of a hero. Kind of like Queen of Pain last patch. That's where I think Lesh is this patch. So just a very strong hero, can be played in any 3 core roles. And I have a whole video on the Shrek if you want to know why it's good and how to play it. Next is Clinks. So Clinks has been disgustingly underrated for a really, really long time. And people still don't play him. Like in 7 to 8.5k pups. I don't get it. I went through a Clinks phase. He's really powerful. They didn't nerf him. It's so much physical burst damage and he scales like an absolute beast. And he's good in pubs because you're good against disorganized teams, right? You hunt down and kill people in the enemy jungle and stuff like that. You scout ganks for your team and you bring the damage to the gank. And late game with the Hex, you can just solo kill people in their jungle. Next, we have Doom carry. Very solid. I mean, the concept of Doom is just always pretty good. I played against this a few times and it feels oppressive, especially in pubs. The reason I like Doom in pubs is usually because there's kind of one guy carrying on the enemy team. And if you're Doom, you can have the agency to like Doom that guy. And it honestly really is that simple, guys. You don't need to think like, in the perfect fight, I will Doom the Invoker spellcaster. Like, don't Doom the Invoker if he's 0-15. Doesn't matter. Like, just Doom the guy who's having a good game and then run over the rest of his team. There's a lot of pubs that like shake out like that. Next, we have Wraith King. So big caveat here. This is stronger the lower MMR you go. If you're high MMR, like 6k plus, I would put Wraith King probably B tier. In low MMR pubs, it's just really good because everybody will use all their long cooldown spells on the second life. Or sorry, on the first life. And then we have Nature's Prophet. So he was Giga S disgustingly broken tier last patch and he got nerfed and now he's still really good. Still A tier. If you played Prophet last patch, you can definitely keep doing your thing, but it does feel like a little bit worse. It's always a little bit sad playing a hero after nerfs because I always think like, oh, like I should have played it more when he was in his former glory, but you know what they say, hindsight is 2020. Still very good for the same reasons that he was good last patch. And he probably will still be good for as long as they keep the global TP ability in the game. Next we have Drow. So Drow just does probably the most damage in the game in the late game. It's kind of gross how she'll just like 2-shot the enemy carry sometimes. Also pretty strong lane. So Drow I think is pretty underrated. Then we have Luna. So this new Ags build I've been seeing looks really strong on Luna. But I think a big part of that is because people don't really expect the Ags now. So as people learn to play against it, I think Luna stock will go down. But right now, buy Luna while it's hot, guys. Then we have Abaddon. Similar to Wraith King, he's really good in pubs because people will just commit their spells on you before you use your second life. And his lane's really strong with shield. The way I look at Abaddon is you can just have a very consistent amount of impact every game where you know, you build your items, you'll get them at reliable times because your lane is good, and then you just go frontline for your team in the fight, and you give your team vision of the entire enemy team. And you make it so the enemy can't really commit on you, because if they commit on you, you're going to pop your ult, and then your team will turn. And if you do that every game, you know, you're not going to win every game, but like that alone, what I just said, is going to be enough impact for you to have like a 60% win rate on this hero, because playing a hero like Abaddon or Wraith King makes it easier for your team to play Dota. You know what I'm going to do for the next 3 actually? I'm going to make an A+ tier, because I don't think these heroes are S by any means. Okay, A+ tier. First off, we have the Lifestealer with Gorestorm. Really good to get involved early. Really fun to get in an Ancient Creep at level 6 and nuke somebody for like 500-600 damage. Because before, Lifestealer had this problem where he's just like really slow. But now with Gorestorm, you're not as slow. And Lifestealer is pretty much a free win if you pick it in a game where you can press Rage and like not have a threat of dying in Rage. So try not to pick it against high physical damage targets. I think it's still actually like kind of mediocre in those games, but in games where the enemy has a lot of magic and you can press Rage and basically be invincible, and then you buy BKB, so then you have Rage and BKB and you can just free hit, and again, stand in the front for your team and just not die. Really, really good hero. Then we have Ursa. Ursa was Giga S tier broken last patch. Now I think it's A+ because I think it's still really good, but it did get nerfed ever so slightly. But I really like Ursa for pubs because you just get Basher and you solo kill people on the map, and you thrive against disorganized teams. And the sauce on Ursa, guys, I have a whole Ursa sauce video that's still super relevant, so go check that out if you want to learn Ursa. But it's just you blink into a fight, you kill somebody, and then you kite back and you wait for your next blink, and then you just do it again. Because blinking on somebody from the fog and killing them is going to be much more effective than running straight at them. If you blink on a support, kill them, that's your first blink, and then you decide to like run into the middle of the team fight after that, usually it's not going to be good because you're going to get kited. But it's just so much damage. The burst is like overwhelming, and even though people know it's coming, like I'll play support against Ursa, and I'll like have a Ghost Scepter, and it's hard to react if he jumps you from fog, honestly, before he bashes you, for you to click your Ghost Scepter. Like, I'm serious, and I'm an 8.5k player. Honestly, one of the most devastating jumps in the game. Then for the top carry of the A+ tier, we have the Medusaler. Medusa scales like a menace, very good lane, and if you pick it in a good Dusa game where they just don't have the damage to take you down, it's just a free win. all you do, it's pretty brain dead. You just farm to your timing, then you take Roche, and then you just siege with it. That's the thing why I like Medusas, because the game plan's so straightforward. You pick it in a strong Medusa game, and most games these days are really good Medusa games, just based on like what's good. And then you just take Roche and siege. That's why I like Lifestealer too, because he's a good siege hero. You can just hit buildings and like not really care. And then if they go on you, then you'll kill them. And the lane is extremely strong with Mystic Snake. So it's an extremely reliable laning stage. You can hit your timings. And again, if you just do that, if you just farm efficiently and win your lane with Mystic Snake, which is not hard, you'll just have like a 60% win rate or something with Medusa. But a lot of people find it boring. That's the downside. All right, and the S tier, finally, guys, the moment that you've all been waiting for. Here it is. There are no S tier carries this patch. Holy mind blown. Plot twist. I really think this, guys. I don't think there are any like giga broken, you know, first pickable heroes. You can first pick anything if you're really good at it. So like I'm a big advocate of hero mastery. You guys know that over everything. But yeah, I mean, this is a good time to explore, right? Try a new hero. The carry role honestly seems pretty balanced right now, because before the S tier heroes were like Prophet and Ursa, but they got nerfed and they're still good, but I would definitely not say they're S. And I think we're going to see this in Pro too. Like, we're not going to see these like first pick Templar Assassins, first pick Nature's Prophets like we saw before. Honestly, maybe Nature's Prophet because he has the flex potential in Pro. But yeah, guys, I really don't think there are any like giga broken S tier heroes. I think the A and the A plus tier heroes are really good. But again, I wouldn't say any carry heroes are god tier this patch. All right, guys, first Krabby tier list in the books. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if this meant a lot to you. And also, if you want to support me, the best thing you can do is just download Raid for free. Because again, I'm on the trial with GameLeap, and the more of you download it, the more likely I am to be able to keep giving you guys Dota content for the long term. If this doesn't work out with GameLeap, honestly, I'm probably done with Dota content. But I really like it, so I hope it works out. The Krabby clan is coming soon in Raid, so look out for that. Peace out, guys.